Hi, my name is Meg. Welcome to my plush factory. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're interested in small crochet business content. And if you are not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. Today's video is going to be a market vlog. I had a market on Saturday and I'm gonna take you along with me. Please enjoy. Good morning, happy market day. Today's Saturday, we've got a market. I dare say this is the best I've ever packed my car. I'm sure you can't really tell from here, but it looks so neat and organized. I feel like I did a nice job fitting everything, but I also put my front passenger seat really far forward, so that could be part of it. Oh, and I just realized I forgot my microphone. I am all over the place today, you guys. I woke up late. My alarm went off and I shut it off in my sleep, so I'm running a little bit late. I'm gonna run in, grab my microphone, and then I gotta go get gas and get there because I should have been there like now. So I'm going to grab my microphone so that I can vlog for you guys when it's there. It's raining right now. It seems like it's gonna be kind of lightly raining all day, which stinks, but I'm still in high spirits because I'm hopeful that this event is gonna go well. It's from 11 to 7 and it's only like 6:50 right now, so it's an early morning for a very long day. I am just hopeful that we don't get completely rained out and that people still come, but there's supposed to be a parade, and this event was really awesome last year, so I'm hoping for another good turnout this year. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna blab about right now because I really have to go and get there, but I'll talk to you guys a little bit more in a little bit and I'll show you the setup. Okay, all right, see you soon. Okay, it's 9:45. It's cold, it's wet, it's rainy. We've been sitting here freezing our butts off for we haven't been sitting here for 3 hours. We've been setting up for 3 hours and my toes are frozen. My brother-in-law is bringing us new socks and hot coffee. I really hope the sun comes out, otherwise this is going to be a long day. And I really hope that this microphone is cutting out the copywritten music in the background. I'm going to watch this clip back and we're going to see. First sale of the day. And some crumpled $1 bills. All right, so it's 10:51 and the event doesn't officially start till 11, but we did just make 2 sales. We sold pickle and axolotl and a chicken nugget to one family, and then this one little girl came and gave me 5 crumpled up $1 bills and bought a gummy bear, which was very cute. So now we've got some more morale going on here, and our warm socks are coming in about 2 minutes. Imminently our feet will be warm. I think it's too cold to crochet right now. Spirits are up a little bit. It's like 11:30 and we've made 4 separate sales, so doing pretty good. Half an hour in, not complaining. And we got some blankets. My brother-in-law brought us blankets and new socks, so we're warm and that's helping a lot with the motivation, the morale. I'm trying to be so chill about the water dripping from my tent, but it's making me nervous. I'm very glad that we got the shower curtains. How are you guys? Good. How are ya? Good. Here they come with coffee. Yeah. Thank you. We get closer. Cheers. Thanks. Will you show them the fries? Fries. We got fries and coffee. It's 12 o'clock. We're 1 hour in, and I made back my vendor fee. And then some. And I just looked at the weather, and the rain is supposed to now hold off until 2. So that would be amazing if the rain doesn't start until 2. I'm hoping that it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and that it doesn't actually rain at all. That would be great, but we'll see. Spirits are high. It's 12:45, and we have almost filled up a whole page. So that's a good sign. Less than 2 hours in. I mean, technically it's like 2 hours in because people were coming through at like 10:45. But yeah, it's going pretty well, and the rain has stayed away, so so far, knock on all of the wood, and hopefully it stays that way. It's supposed to rain from like 2 to 5 now, I think it said. So we're just kind of hoping that it stays decent weather, but the turnout seems to be great. So I'm happy. Hopefully it stays this busy the whole day. We'll see. We got a little lunch action going on. Some peanut butter crackers, some goldfish, and a homemade wrap. Thanks to my sister. The sun came out literally just right now. We've got some wind gusts coming through, but not too bad. And still hasn't started raining again, so it's going well. We're on to page number 2 of sales. Hopefully you can hear me over the loud music, but about like 2:15 right now. And we're already almost done with page number 2, so it's going very well. It's quite busy, and it still has not rained. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm very happy. Hannah is over there reorganizing things for me. Look at her go. She's all bundled up because it's freezing still, but we're surviving. We did just have a little bit of a rush, and I sold like 4 chickens, a mushy pop, a couple gummy bears, a bunch of stuff. Only 1 pig left. We've got 2 gummy bears, it looks like. Literally, that's all. Dirty soda booth. It's 3:06. It's definitely slowed down a little bit, but there's still... You guys, my mic kept cutting out this whole day long. I don't know what was happening, but I think here I'm talking about how there's still about 4 hours left of the event and the rain still hasn't come. And so I'm hopeful that the weather is going to stay kind of neutral the way it has been, and maybe we'll have like a dinner rush. I think that's what I was saying here. I don't remember, and I'm so sad that that happened. I'm so sorry. Just sold the last 2 strawberry whales, so we've got an empty container. So I gotta kind of go out there and fix the table a little bit, but it's always nice to have an empty basket. Okay, we've got 3 hours left. It's definitely slowed down a lot. The last sale was, oh, it's 4 o'clock, not 3 o'clock. I just confused myself. The last sale was about 20 minutes ago, is what I said here, and the mic cut out again. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys can see that gloomy sky. I sold the last pig and the last frog. So we got to take down 2 more signs, 1 more basket. The pigs and the opossums we had combined, so that's why the basket for those didn't come down, because there was 2 opossums left. Everybody's taking their tents down because the wind is so crazy. We filled up another page, but it's so windy and pretty much everyone is packed up. We're like some of the only people still left standing. Wait, it's 5:30 now. All right, you guys, I am home. I just pulled in the driveway. I wanted to give you one last little update, or I guess outro clip here from the day of the market. As you can see from my face being so red, it was so windy, especially towards the last like couple hours. It was just crazy, and actually a lot of the vendors ended up packing up early at like 4 or 5 o'clock. We stuck it out. I was planning on staying until 7 because that's when the event was over, but they told us to pack up at 6 because the weather was not getting any better and the gusts of wind were just kind of crazy. So I'm pretty grateful actually that they told us to leave, because I don't think anyone else was coming at that point anyways. It sort of felt like there were no more customers coming in. We did get a few like little sales at the end, like in the last hour. I filled up 2 whole pages of sales, so it was overall a good day, a very long day. I am exhausted, just from setting up and sitting in the weather all day and like being stressed about my plushies possibly falling over. But overall, a really good day, a really good market. I will do a more enthusiastic recap tomorrow, and I will fix my face so I look a little bit better than this and actually sit down and talk to you guys tomorrow. But I just wanted to do one last little recap here to talk about the thoughts that I have right now. So I'll throw in an after clip of what the booth looked like at the end. We sold out of quite a few things, so that was great. I've got my work cut out for me this week, and then tomorrow I will give you guys the breakdown of everything that sold and how much I walked away making and my profit and all of those fun things that I know most of you guys are here for. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, that'll be the next clip. All right, you guys, it's a couple days later and it's time for the results. So I'm gonna just do a quick recap of the market for you, and then we'll run through everything that sold and how much the total was at the end. So I brought with me somewhere around like $2,500-ish worth of inventory, which is kind of lower than I would have wanted, but it ended up being fine. I did sell out of a couple of things, which I'll tell you guys what I sold out of in a moment here. But yeah, basically, so this market was it was supposed to be from 11 to 7. Setup started at 7, so I got there a little bit late at like 7:15 because I really don't need 3 hours to set up, and I overslept a little bit. So I got there at like 7:15. I had my new tent to set up, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to experiment with that and make sure that I knew how that worked and everything. So we got the new tent set up. Everything was great. It was raining pretty much the entire time we were setting up, but the wind wasn't crazy at that point, so not a big deal. The tent that I got came with one sidewall, and I thought that the sidewalls that I had from my previous tent would work with this one. They did not. They don't fit because they are for a slant leg tent, which I feel silly for not thinking of that, but it is what it is. So we ended up having one back sidewall, and then my brother-in-law actually ran out and grabbed some clear shower curtains for me, which I was planning on doing during the week and didn't have time to do. So he ran out and grabbed some of those, and then you guys saw we just put one of those up in the corner where I have my grid with all my larger plushies to protect them from the rain, and that ended up working out really well. So we just zip tied those up to the tent, and it kept the water that was pooling on the side of the tent from dripping directly onto the plushies. So that was really nice. I ended up doing kind of a condensed setup because I was fearful it was supposed to rain for like 4 hours of the day. So I was really nervous about stuff getting wet and potentially like dropping onto the ground. So I ended up doing a condensed setup with just 2 6-foot tables and then 1 4-foot table instead of my usual 2 4-foot tables with the 2 6-foot tables on the sides to make like a rectangle booth. And that ended up working out fine. And we actually put like a little bit of a gap on the side. You guys will see. Actually, I don't know if I showed you the finished setup. The setup that I ended up showing you guys, I think, was before we moved the table, but eventually we moved the 4-foot table closer to the edge of the tent a little bit, so there was a bit of a gap in between, and that ended up working out nicer than I thought because it gave people a way to like go around. I keep all of my lower price items, like my $10, $5, $8 baskets on that table, so that's where people tend to congregate because there's lots of options to look through. So it kind of clogs up my booth sometimes, but it was nice having that gap because people could go around and then more people could see from the other side. So that's something that I'm going to consider doing more in the future. I actually ended up really liking that. The only downside is that you have less table space, of course. So when my inventory is a little bit higher, it'd be difficult to do that, but it worked out for this market. So we did that. The rain stopped at like 10:30, which was great because that's when people started coming in. There was a parade, so people started coming in from the parade at that time. I would say the busiest hours were probably like that 11 o'clock hour to like 2 o'clock-ish. It was pretty much a steady stream that whole time, and the weather was not bad during that time. It was cold all day, but the rain staying away I think helped a lot, so that was nice. And then it definitely started to slow down, and then as you guys saw in my vlog clips, the wind was picking up a lot, so people were getting a little antsy. A lot of people packed up and left at like 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish, and I was talking to my vendor neighbor, and she was like, I don't know, should we stay, should we go? And I was like, I'm here, I'm sticking it out, but I would understand if you wanted to leave because the wind was whipping like crazy. Then they eventually came over and told us to start packing up at 6, which was fine. We only lost an hour, and honestly, in that last hour, I don't imagine that anyone else was going to be coming through anyways, so it was kind of nice to not have to just sit there with no customers coming through. But overall, a really great event. I did this event last year and it was awesome. Last year I think I made like $750 last year, and we had to pack up at 3:30 because of the rain. So this is proven to be 2 years in a row now a very good market for me. I will definitely be going back next year. But yeah, let's get into what sold. I'll go through and just tell you the total of all of the items that sold, and then I'll give you how much I made at the very end. So we sold 3 axolotls, 3 chicken nuggets, 2 pickles, 6 gummy bears, leaving me with only 1 gummy bear left, 6 opossums, leaving me with 2 opossums left, 2 of the ducks with frog hats, so those sold out, 1 of the ducks with strawberry hats, which also means those sold out because I didn't have a chance to make more of those, 3 elephants, baby elephants, 5 pigs, 2 whales, 5 mushy pops. And actually I went like a couple hours thinking that someone had stolen a mushy pop, but I had just written it wrong on my sheet because I was doing the count and I knew how many I had started with, and I only had 9 left. I started with 13 and I was like, wait, I didn't sell that many. And I was going through and I was like, shoot, somebody stole a mushy pop. But then later on in the evening when I was doing my final tally, I realized that I had just marked it down as I had written fidget instead of mushy, which is what I usually write when I sell mushy pops, so it confused me. So no mushy pops were stolen, which is very good news. I was a little sad about that, but it's all good. Nothing was stolen. So I sold 5 mushy pops, 2 octos, which is good. I'm really trying to get rid of my octos because they don't sell well. I lowered the price to $8. I had them at 10. I lowered it to 8. I'm just kind of trying to get rid of them at this point. I sold 2 of these. 3 strawberry whales, which means I sold out of strawberry whales. 3 frogs, which means I sold out of frogs. 2 jellyfish. 2 love cats. 6 chickens, and 5 of those were the tan chickens. So I completely sold out of my tan chickens, and then that one additional was a white chicken. 2 chubby dinos, which is great. That's the most those have moved. They don't really sell super well in my experience. 2 strawberries, 1 blueberry, and then 1 turtle, which means the tofu turtles sold out because I only had the 1 left. So definitely have to make more of those. But that leaves me with a total of $703 in sales. So $703, I'm very happy with that. The vendor fee for this event was $50, and I also had to give a donation of a raffle basket with a $50 value. So for that, I gave a chicken, a gummy bear, a heart keychain, a chicken nugget keychain, and I have this little baby teddy bear. It was like the only one on my table. I had marked it down for clearance and I've had it since last year. I think since my first ever market I've had it, so I just decided that that was going to be a good one to give away as a donation because I think it's really cute. I just think it's really little, like it's a super baby bear, and so if people are going to get a teddy bear, they're going to buy one of the bigger ones. It just doesn't make sense to get such a small bear, but I did think it would be cute as like part of the donation. So that was my $50 value raffle that I gave, and yeah, so technically a $50 vendor fee, or you could think of it as a $100 vendor fee if you consider that raffle basket. So profit wise, we made about $650, and I'm super happy with that for one day's work. It was a very long day. It was a long day. I got there at like 7:15, left at around 6:45-ish, so almost 12-hour day, sitting in the freezing cold. I'm so grateful for my brother-in-law because my sister and I were sitting there with freezing cold feet because we were both wearing sneakers and we were walking through the grass. I was able to park like right next to my booth spot, but there was like a strip of grass in between, so we had to walk through wet grass to get all of the stuff, and our feet were wet, and so we were freezing because I think it's true that like heat exits through your feet and through your head, so you're supposed to have like warm socks and a hat, and we had wet socks, so it was very miserable for a while. But luckily he ran home and brought us blankets and clean socks, and I had an extra pair of shoes in the car. So once that stuff came, once the reinforcements came, we were much happier, but it would have been quite miserable if we had to sit there all day like that. So other than that, and then other than the crazy wind, which a couple of things did fall over. At one point my bunny fell over. Oh my gosh, my bunny fell over, and I was like, if anything can stay put on the table, I would like for it to be that bunny because it's expensive and it's white, so if it drops on the ground and it gets dirty, that stinks, right? There were people in my booth, and this huge gust of wind came through, and the bunny fell on the ground, and this girl was like about to take a step backwards and step on it. Thank goodness her mom was like, no, don't move. She was like, don't move. So all was fine, all was well. The bunny, I looked at it, there's no dirt or anything, and we just put it back up, but that could have been tragic. So definitely I am going to be purchasing a rug for my booth for underneath or on the ground, because it's just so stressful when you've got like cloth or material plushies that if they get dirty, it's really hard to get the dirt off. I know there are ways you can like wash them and spot clean, but I would like to prevent that from happening at all, from any damage occurring. So that was like the only super close call with any plushies being damaged, but there were definitely quite a few gusts of wind where I was very nervous. But thankfully my weights did hold the tent and everything was fine. Like I said, a lot of people ended up packing up early, but we stayed until they told us to leave at 6, and I'm glad we did. because I wanted to see the back half of the event. Like I said, last year it ended at 3:30, so it was nice to see. And the crowd did kind of die down, but I feel like it's hard to use that as a judge because I think people might have just, I don't know, the weather I think really affected the attendance. So it's hard to say whether or not that would have been the same. I mean, they had bands there all day, so I would imagine if the weather was better, then maybe more people would have showed up like later on in like the dinner time area. But this year that didn't happen just because I think of the weather. Overall, it was a good event and I'll definitely be going back next year. So stay tuned for another market vlog next week. I've got a 2-day market coming up and then another 2-day market the weekend after that. So there'll be lots of market vlog content coming up in June, and I have lots of market prep to be doing. So I might throw in a couple market prep vlogs in there as well. So if you are not subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you can catch all of those videos. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it and leave me a comment saying hello, and I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.